Welcome. In this video, we'll discuss what is a robot, how the term robotics is originated. We'll discuss on different laws of robotics, timeline for its development, different thumb rules when we should go for using a robot or when we should not, and different applications of robot. Now, what is a robot? Robot is an automatically operated machine that replaces human effort with or without any resemblance to human. Actually, it may or may not look like a human at all. It may look like a cat, it may look like a dog, it may look like a simple box. Okay? Through our formal perception, what we have conceived over the years by looking at different movies, that it should look like a human, but actually it is not. In industry, most of the time you find a robot which are just like an arm, or it is a mobile robotic platform which carries weight from one place to the other. The concept of artificial human predates to any recorded history. We don't know when this term has actually evolved, but formerly a modern term robot was derived from the Czech word robota, that means a forced labor or a chef. It is used by Karel Capek in his play RUR, Rosarum Universal Robots in 1920. The robot first appeared in Isaac Asimov's science fiction story Runaround in 1942, and then Runaround also contained some of the famous laws of robotics, which are formerly known as 3 laws of robotics. The laws of robotics now can be defined as: number 1, a robot may not injure a human being or through its inaction allow a human being to come to harm. That means a robot should not be capable enough to damage something like human, something like environment which is all around its periphery. The second law expresses, which is over the top of number 1, the robot must obey the orders given by the human being except where such orders would conflict with the first law. That means even if a robot is commanded to kill you, it should not take up that order and proceed further. Okay? And the third law says robot must protect its own existence as long as such protection does not conflict with the first or the second law. That means it will protect its own existence, it won't suicide. At the same time, while doing so, in order to prevent itself, it should not kill the human around, or it should not take up any order that kills himself or any human which are around. Okay, now let us look at the timeline for the robot and its evolution, how it has evolved. The first stationary industrial robot was programmable Unimate. Unimate was invented in 1954 by American engineer George Deville, and then it was taken up by a company called Unimation Inc. that was founded in 1956 by Joseph Engelberger. So Engelberger later was known as father of robotics. You may call George Deville as grandfather of robotics. First prototype was introduced in the year 1959 at General Motors Corporation for one of its die casting factory in Trenton, New Jersey, and world's first production line serial robot. It was serial robot. We'll talk about that serial robot specifically throughout this course. It was delivered to GM factory, General Motors factory, in the year 1961 by Condec Corporation. It's an acquisition of Unimation Inc. Now, given a robot, should we go and use robot anywhere we feel like? Is it? No. We should not take up robot for any general task. Let us consider 4 D's of robotics, which says you should apply robot only for tasks which are dirty. D, first D. dull, dangerous or difficult. Until unless a task which is very dull, a monotonous task, you have to keep on doing the same stuff whole lot of day. So you may think of using a robot which can do so. You can think of a robot going into a place which are inaccessible. It may be dangerous, it may be a nuclear plant, it may be a hot factory. So that could be a probable place where we should look for using a robot. Or if a task is really difficult, you have to pick up a heavy load. Okay, you can think of using a robot. So these are the 4 Ds where we should think a robot should be applied. Next, robot may not leave any human jobless. We see there are plenty of human which are already jobless. We may think of giving them job if at all possible, like a candle industry, like a matchstick industry, or industries where you find plenty of skilled labor which are standing next to you asking for a job, and you are putting a robot into use. So you should always think of a robot which are not rendering them jobless. It must take a short term and long term economic sense. That means you cannot put up a robot to a startup. It won't let you grow only. Right from the first day onward, you started using a robot when it was quite easily possible by using people all around, your interns, your own relatives maybe. So you can always think of using them rather than putting robots to use. So initially a robot should seek for a short term goal, and in long term, if you are planning to expand your industry, yes, you can think of a robot when it will help you to multiply your production. Now let us see some of the applications of the robot. The figure which is here is a Da Vinci robot. You see, this is a Da Vinci robot. It's a medical robot which performs surgery, a human surgery. It's a teleoperated surgery. A doctor sits somewhere else and he commands the robot. He can see the live visual perception, and then he can handle the in these incisions. There's different types of knives, forceps and all that are holded in different arms you see here, and he can handle stuffs which are inside you. It looks quite dangerous though, but for them after a long practice, yes, it is quite easily doable for them. You see there is a mining robot which is Julius over here. There are many other mining robots in place. What they do, they pick up sample, they do some sort of digging around mining, not necessarily a hardcore mining operation maybe. NASA uses it for a space robot, you see. It's a long boom robot which NASA is using. Okay, they are really big, that are used to do some repair work to the space station, to the satellite maybe. A deep sea diver takes up underwater exploration robot which takes up samples, which takes up videos, which takes deep sea pictures, that carries a human with them. You see, this is a Dutch defense robot also developed by DRDO India. It is used for bomb diffusion. You see, this is the one which I was talking about. It's a dangerous task. A human put their lives at risk to defuse a bomb. So this robot can go there and defuse a bomb. This is a UAV Netra, again developed by DRDO India. It's a security surveillance robot which looks at different borders or area. Okay, it may give you feed for the path where probable way where of army can go. Okay, so this is a robot which is shown here is a Tamsuk robot, industrial robot, which has 2 arms, which is shown here rescuing a car with a person inside. Agricultural robot developed by Bosch. There are many other agricultural robots which does deep field robotics, and they move at a faster speed definitely, and they can do seed sowing, they can do harvesting, they can pick up the samples, test the mud samples. Those things can be done. You have domestic robot when you may need a robot to take care of the elderly people at home. Entertainment or a gaming platform. It's a platform when you can ride on top of it, and you have a virtual screens where you can see live games which are there, and okay, you can feel the vibration, you can feel the real motion which are around you while playing the games live. It is used in automobile industry for welding operation, spot welding, painting, polishing, buffing. There are many other tasks. Industrial tasks are many. Normally, a palletizing task, packaging task are very common when it is known as material handling, processing like welding, surface finishing like polishing, buffing, grinding, deburring, painting operation, machining, drilling. You see, all these tasks are either monotonous, they are dirty, or they are dangerous, right? So that 4D formula fits in here. Assembly robots, although they are very uncommon in the industry, they are used for collaborative tasks when they need a special property of the robot which is known as compliance. We'll talk about later in force control of industrial robots in one of the modules later on.